A guten Erev Shabbos, my dear friends. Chazak, Chazak, v'nischazek, be strong, and may we be strengthened. This is what we are all going to announce tomorrow when we read the portion of Vayechi. We conclude the first book of the Torah, the book of Bereshis, the book of Genesis. And don't forget to light the candles in time. Here in Brooklyn, 419 is the candle lighting time, and of course the man makes sure to put on tefillin. So we finished the book of Bereshis, and we announced this saying to be strong, and may we be strengthened. But when we look in the very last verse of the Torah, of what we read Vayamas Yosef b'meya ve'esar shanim. Yosef died when he was 110 years. And they embalmed him, and he was placed in a coffin in Egypt. That's how we conclude the book of Bereshis. We know we are supposed to conclude with the positive things, especially the positive thing that was supposed to give us the strength. Here we'll read the last verse about the Yosef being placed in a coffin in Egypt. How can that be a positive thing? We know his father Yaakov in this parsha, in the beginning of the parsha. Father Yaakov says to Yosef, please, when I die, take me out of Egypt. Place me, bury me in Israel, in the Holy Land. So why do we conclude with such a thing which seems to be negative? And the Rebbe explains that this is really a positive thing. This gives us the strength. The fact that we know Yosef was placed in a coffin in Egypt in order to give the strength to the Jews while in exile, to give them the courage, to give them the strength, knowing that the tzaddik is with them, the Rebbe is with them. There's a story of the previous Rebbe, when he was in Poland, and one time his Gabba, Rabbi Fagin, was in the next room. He heard a stomp, and he walked into the room of the previous Rebbe, and he saw the previous Rebbe fell on the floor, and he hurt himself badly, and he had to come bring the doctors. He was not able to function for a few weeks. But one thing the Rabbi Fagin saw in the Fiedeke Rebbe, when he saw him smiling, being very happy. And later on, the previous Rebbe told Rabbi Fagin, he told him, I had a feeling for a while that something terrible is going to happen. A feeling of a Rebbe is like, of course, Ruach HaKodesh. And he said to him, I was not sure if this is going to happen to me or to my Hasidim. And when I fell and I saw it happen to me, I was so happy that my Hasidim were spared, that the Jewish people were spared. That's a true tzaddik who devotes and sacrifices himself to save the people. And that is what happened with Yosef HaTzadik. Of course, it's a special thing to be buried in Israel. And Yaakov was buried in Israel. Of course, there was a reason for that also, because you need to have a tzaddik outside of the exile to be able to help the people in exile to come out. But the sacrifice that Yosef did is to make sure that he's placed in Egypt to be along with the people in exile. This is why the tzaddikim in our generation are buried outside of Israel, many of them, in order to look away from their own good, in order to save the people. So knowing this, knowing that the Rebbe is with us, the tzaddik is with us, gives us the strength, and that is why we proclaim right after this, Chazak, Chazak, v'nischazek, be strong, and may we be strengthened. We should all be strong, and we should very soon merit the coming of Mashiach, the resurrection of the dead. We'll be together in Eretz Yisrael very soon. Have a good Shabbos.